Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Sports Report. On tonight's programme, Richard will be catching up with Paul, who've had a busy time recently in Scotland and at home. We'll also be talking athletics as the Junior Autumn Road Racing programme reaches its midpoint in its series. We talk international futsal with Gibraltar's new head coach, Peter Moreno, and we also round up the current state of play in senior football's second division. And we'll be rounding up the rest of the Rock sporting news before we go. We start, however, with the main sporting highlight of the past week, and Melanie brings us this report on Friday's Germany-Gibraltar UEFA 2016 qualifier, played on Friday in Nuremberg.
Gibraltar's most anticipated match in the European qualifiers finally arrived on Friday evening when they went up against Germany. Hoping to keep the scoreline to a minimum, manager Alan Buller opted for a defensive formation of 5-4-1. In goal saw the return of Jamie Rova, with Giancarlo Garcia, David Artell, Scott Wiseman, Ryan Casiaro and Joseph Cipollina making up the main defence. In midfield, captain Roy Cipollina was brought forward from his usual defending role, with Jack Sargent making up the centre midfield, with Brian Perez on the left and Liam Walker on the right. Their only attacking force up front was Lee Casiaro. The match, compared by many as the David and Goliath of all matches, had the whole world expecting to see a frenzy of goals scored by the world champions. But this did not demoralise the team's spirit. Instead, they were only asked to give it their all and enjoy it. Well, Germany kicked off the match, immediately testing Gibraltar's defence line. The first 10 minutes saw several shots go amiss for Germany, including an attempt on target by Belrabi, which was saved by College Europa goalkeeper Jamie Rova. The first goal came in the 12th minute for Germany when a cross from defender Mustafi struck the post and rebounded back into the area, where striker Thomas Muller easily found the back of the net. This followed by a second goal for Muller in the 29th minute, and a third for midfielder Goetze in the 38th minute. Before the half-time whistle was blown, Gibraltar almost made history as Liam Walker found himself alone up the left side and took a sensational half-volley that was directed to the top right-hand corner. Unfortunately, German keeper Manuel Neuer just about managed to get his hands to it. The attempt on goal even shocked German manager Joachim Löw, who was seen clutching his face in despair. The second half started strong for Gibraltar as Perez found himself in Germany's 18-yard box, even managing to pass a couple of challengers. Lee Casiaro was also on top form as he sped up and down the pitch, showing no signs of wavering. Gibraltar continued with the same tactics as in the first half, and although 3-0 down, it is a score not anticipated by themselves nor the rest of the world. 20 minutes in, Podolski's pass into the Gibraltar area was missed by Muller, but found Gibraltar defender Jogan Santos instead. He was unable to steer clear from the ball and he knocked it into his own goal, bringing the score to 4-0. Germany lacked the pace shown in the first half and their chances on goal were few, with many taken from outside the area. Gibraltar showed that they were determined to hold the world champions to a decent scoreline and continued to power on, with Liam Walker again trying his luck on goal with a shot outside the area. Gibraltar's keeper gave a brilliant performance in the second half with some vital saves. The final whistle blew after 3 minutes of extra time, signifying Gibraltar's success to hold the world champions to their lowest scoreline to date in this European qualifying campaign. And just like that, David may not have beaten Goliath this time, but he certainly bruised his ego. Manager Alan Buller was certainly pleased with his team's performance as he cheered his players and fans alike. At the post-match press conference, Mr. Buller had this to say about his thoughts on the match.
Yeah, obviously very, very proud. There's no words that can describe what I feel about my players, my backroom staff, the way we've prepared to face the world champions. Little Gibraltar, smallest UEFA member. Obviously, we haven't. I've got to be realistic. We haven't really given much of a game, but we needed to be solid in the back and sheer determination, a really gutsy performance, and that's what I asked my players. That's all I asked. I asked them, just give me 100%, but most of all, give me a smile. Enjoy, because not every day you get to play the world champions.
And the audacious shot by Liam Walker was also a topic of interest.
Liam was saying it all the time prior to the match. He knew that I usually comes out quite quite a bit, and Liam has got a great kick from anywhere in the field. And just seeing that, the way he kicked it, you know, it would have been what a goal it would have been. But great save from the German captain.
Finally, Alan was asked how he felt the result was going to be received back home.
It's not about receiving the team, because there's still a long way to go. This is part of the team developing, and obviously we didn't start off in the right foot in the qualifiers. And it's just about showing that I really hope now that we have shut up quite a few mouths that said we didn't deserve to be here. I think that performance is showing that we do deserve, and we will progress. But home, all I want them is to have a great big smile, full of pride, and when we get back, we just carry on with our normal lives. This was for Gibraltar, and this was for our players, and this was to shut up a few people that kept on saying that we didn't deserve to be here.
A few weeks back, we took a look at futsal and reported on how close things were at the top of the table. Well, things are still close 2 rounds later, but positions have changed slightly. On Saturday, St Joseph's White beat their club rivals St Joseph's New Team 3-0 to go 2 points clear at the top, although they've played a game more than their nearest rivals. In the weekend's top clash, previously top of the table, Glacis United drew 4-4 with Gibraltar Scorpions, who are also looking strong to defend their title. This result sees Glacis move down to second, while Scorpions remain in third. This week we also take a look at the national squad, who are in full preparations for their European qualifying campaign in January. The draw, which was held a few weeks ago now, saw Gibraltar put into a group alongside Denmark, Greece and the tournament hosts Bulgaria. As part of the preparations towards the qualifying mini-tournament, the squad has and will be taking part in various friendly matches. They recently beat San Pedro 3-1 away from home, and are in fact tonight facing Estepona at the Tercentenary Sports Hall. At the end of the month they will also be travelling to Malta for a triangular tournament against the hosts and Serbia, in one final push towards the main target in January. I recently spoke to the national manager, Peter Moreno, and began by asking him for his views on the draw.
Yeah, Bulgaria has a very strong team, I think. Being the host nation, the atmosphere they're going to put on the ground, I think it will be a strong team. Greece, I've heard they have a very good team, a very good league, very strong league, I suppose. But I really don't know how strong I think Bulgaria will be the strongest.
Now, obviously, futsal in Gibraltar in general, across the board, has taken pretty much started from a clean sheet, if you like, from last season. So obviously, starting from scratch is not easy. You've got to really get the squad together once again, and you've already started the process playing a friendly away from Gibraltar in the nearby Spanish area. How did that go last week?
See, it went quite well. The thing is, we've been training for the past 4 or 5 weeks with the squad. The squad have been putting players every week. I come see the games and put players. I get players picked in every week. So yeah, the players are adapting to play futsal. It's a new game, and we're getting there. Yeah.
And still looking at the preparations for obviously the main aim, which is the European Championship qualifiers in January. At the end of the month, you've also got a trip to Malta, I believe, where you'll be playing against the hosts and Serbia in a triangular, which will obviously help a lot for the preparations for the qualifiers in the new year.
Yeah, Serbia is a strong team. Malta, I think it's more or less like us, standard. But it would be a good experience for the players to get together and play Serbia and Malta. Yes, very good experience for them.
Now we've played Malta before in the past in futsal here in Gibraltar and abroad. So are they sort of a good friend of Gibraltar's in the world of futsal?
Yes, yeah. They came here, I think, about a year ago, and we won the first match and they won the second. So hopefully we'll go there and beat them. That's what I want, and that's a good preparation for us. So yes.
And finally, Peter, looking at the actual qualifying campaign in January, obviously qualification for the elite group is what everyone's aiming for, but we have to be realistic. What are your real main aims for the Gibraltar squad in that tournament?
I think that, like I told you, Bulgaria, I think it would be the strongest team. But I think if we play as we are training now and we're getting better by week, maybe we can get a good result against them, and maybe, who knows, maybe we can get qualified.
Any sports league involving 14 teams has the potential to provide some real excitement throughout the season, and that is exactly what's happening this season with the GFA's second division. Gibraltar United and Europa Point are currently tied on points at the top of the table after 7 games each. The two clubs couldn't be more different in their principles, with Gib United opting to remain and maintain a fully local squad for the time being, whilst Europa Point has gone for a more international approach. But both have a common aim to earn promotion into the Rock's top flight, and with the Rock Cup scheduled to kick off in the new year, both have the possibility to provide some upsets in the early rounds. However, the top game in the second division this past weekend saw 4th against 5th as FC Olympique took on Gibraltar Scorpions. The game was expected to be a close encounter between the two sides, and it was up until half-time with the score tied at 0-0. In the second half, the Scorpions ran away with the game, ending it 4-0 in their favour. This was enough to see them leapfrog Olympique into 4th spot, just 3 points behind Angels and with a game in hand. So things are looking very interesting at the top of the second division, but with 20 games left to play, we'll just have to wait and see who makes it into the top flight for next season.
That's all for part one. After the break, we'll be talking pool and athletics and rounding up the rest of the Rock sporting news at the end of the programme.